It's time for IP in the news. And what is our IP in the news tonight?
Oh boy, this is a big trademark infringement. So what if you went to give your kid Nerds ropes, but they were laced with THC legally, I guess, and you didn't know it?
So what is a nerd rope anyway?
It's a candy that kids love.
Oh, okay. You mean like Nerd the candies that you
Nerds
see?
the candies.
You see Nerds the candies.
I'm sorry.
And your point is that they would be laced with marijuana.
Right. A company called Top 5 Wholesale makes THC laced candies, and they're using trademarks identical to Ferrara Candy Company, which makes Nerds and Trolley candies. And they think it'll cause consumer confusion. Well, I do think because
well, I guess if you get high, you're going to be pretty confused, aren't you?
I went on Top 5's website,
right,
to look at their candy, and it is identical.
The wrappers are the same.
Everything's exactly the same.
It's
and
amazing.
They have some language on there that means something to people who know what THC stuff is, but I don't. So like if I went on there as a young mom, I would just think, oh, maybe this is a good place to get these candies. I wouldn't know the difference really.
Right. Or, I guess I'm trying to figure out why they would steal another company's branding to put their pot in.
I have no idea, but luckily we have very strong trademark laws in the United States.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking maybe if for adolescents who want to walk around with pot in their pocket, and if they get pulled over or something, then they can just say it's regular candy.
Oh, well, they're selling it in Florida, and the sale of recreational marijuana is illegal in Florida.
Well, there you go.
So that's probably why. But they're using the trademark system now. Ferrara Candy Company is using our trademark system to try to make this stop.
It sounds like this is more for the Justice Department, right? Or like some big government agency, but I'm glad they're on it with the trademark stuff, because I mean, that really is very misleading. And not only is it potentially bad, because if you're taking marijuana for some reason and you're in a situation where you shouldn't, that's bad. But also they're capitalizing off of the Nerds brand, which is famous. So it's a double whammy.
They're trying to draw kids in like the cigarette makers did years ago, right?
Well, yeah. Of course.
So anyway, we need to see what our guests think about this.
Okay, I
Richard's
agree.
Roundtable.
It's time for Richard's Roundtable. Michael, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think it's dangerous and a little scary. To your point, though, there's a relative example in the film business that's identical, except we don't lace it with drugs. Bollywood literally takes titles of Hollywood every day, remakes the movie in their own way, and calls it the same thing. So from an infringement standpoint, right, from an intellectual property standpoint, they're, what you're saying, they're grabbing the marketing position of it, and they're allowing them to, run up the profit position on your talent, right? So the same way you look at candy,
right?
I look at IP from the film business, right? So the difference in this is the danger in ours is it's box office revenues that you're not going to receive from your IP. This could be a dangerous, aspect of someone overdosing or a child being in harm's way, which is much more serious.
Yeah, it's so hard to enforce stuff in India. I mean, by the time you would actually get it in court, and it just like it takes years, and by that time it's the movie is long gone, right? So it's and if they do a bad version of it, then it's kind of like in India with how many billions of people, everybody thinks that you made a crummy movie, and so there's no control over the quality, so it just kills you.
Yeah, copycats are really not very nice people.
No, they're copycats. They're ripper-offers. Yeah. So well, that's a very interesting perspective, Michael. I appreciate that. Rob, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they're the same in respect to children. I literally, it just hits home because I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I literally just started Nerds last week, and the Nerds in the Fun Dip, right? The stuff that I grew up with. So I can see it in her little candy bowl. So that, scares me a little. I think as an adult, I like to treat myself to candy. I have some of those sweet tarts. Maybe I would like some Nerds. What I wouldn't like is being high while while I'm driving. Right? And like cannabis for me is, I'm really boring. It's like a sleep aid. You know, my back hurts, I'll take a THC, like, and I'll go to sleep. I'm really boring that way. And third, I mean, they're likely doing this for a lot of reasons, but you know, THC or cannabis products don't really taste very good, right? So the greedy capitalist side of me, siding with the initial product makers, saying like, you're using our packaging and you're putting the stuff in my mouth and it tastes like garbage. I'm not going to go back to this stuff, right? This is not how I remember it.
Right.
Right. No, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And what if the shipments get mixed up and a truckload of this goes to Costco and the other truckload goes to wherever, but you end up buying Twizzlers or something and it's laced with marijuana?
Could you imagine being a teacher in your whole class?
Here, everyone, you get a Twizzler for that correct answer. You know?
That's terrible.
Okay. So, Samaya, what are your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, the same as you guys talking about, you know, it's very scary. I have a child myself and he's older than yours, Robert. He's 12, so they're very curious. And that's something that I could see happen actually in school where the kids might buy it and then go, oh, hey, have you heard about, you know what I mean? So it's a very dangerous thing to do, you know, besides all the legal stuff, but it's dangerous.
It
It's
is
scary as a parent.
You know, I don't know, but there is no minimum age for marijuana, right?
I think there is.
Is there? I mean, when the states where it's
I
been
think-
legalized, is
I
there a
think it's
minimum
like
age?
it's 21, I think.
Is it 21?
Yeah.
So we need to hear from Hilda now.
Well, I think it's so immorally wrong in every way to make a drug look like a candy, and that would also, you know, make the kids more to indulge more. It's more fun to eat something that looks like candy versus if it looks like a drug, then maybe you won't eat 2 pieces of it. And I also have kids who are the same age as Samaya, and it's scary because they are curious and they want to try. And if something looks fun, why not? And it could be, you know, end up very bad. So wrong in every way.
I mean, I have to admit, there have been times when I've like devoured half a bag of candy, right? You know, and you know, I would eat so much of it, I wouldn't even know how much I would have had, right? So it's, this is crazy. I mean, these people should be, it shouldn't be a civil lawsuit. They should be arrested and put in jail, right?
They should be.
Yeah. Kenya?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everyone here. I think also too, from being able to like conceal things, you think about kids and how they bring things to school and like drugs being in school, like this is a very easy way for kids to be able to bring stuff, right? And it just slides under the radar because it has the marketing and the branding of like nerds. So it's interesting that they are going this direction. I also agree with Michael. It's a huge play on the nerds marketing. I mean, think of all the years and the millions and millions of dollars that that brand has spent on, you know, positioning itself in the market in terms of brand recognition. You see it, you know, it's nerds. I mean, sometimes you don't even need to read the box. You see the colors and you're immediately visually, you know, what it is. So, you know, it's crazy that people would try to leverage, but not unheard of, right? And these are the times that we're in.
Right. And I guess, so anyway, I hope the courts deal with this. There's other manufacturers that are doing the same thing with different kinds of candies. I think Hershey's is one of them. There's another one.
Hershey settled an infringement lawsuit, and then Wrigley
too, for what is it, gum?
Candy copying weed products over trademarks. I don't know. I didn't look at those 2 articles, but it seems to be a big thing, like stealing somebody else's brand. And then, but this is a dangerous steal, like Michael was saying.
Yeah. So anyway, on that happy note, we're going to go on with the show. Okay.